Hello, I'm Gina Harris, and welcome to today's Soul Food and Grace Moment. Today's message is Numbers 18:25, and I'm encouraging you to read through 28. Speak to the Levites and say to them, when you receive the Israelites, the tithe I give you as your inheritance, you must present a tenth of the tithe as the Lord's offering. Yesterday's message got me stirred up in my spirit, as I have to be honest, I have never wanted to discuss finances and what the Bible talks about because it's a hot topic for so many. Should you tithe? Does God expect you to tithe? And first, I just want to have a disclaimer here. It's not for me to decide if you should tithe. Okay, that's not the purpose of this week. That's not what this is for. And you may be connected to a church that says it is commanded of you and that it's a certain, dollar amount, which is, the 10% as it says here in today's verse. I once had belonged to a church that wasn't so nice about it. I'm just going to say that in ways that it actually gave me a bad taste in my mouth about tithing. And it made me really see, the human part of it. But I don't want to go into all of that here. Maybe I'll save that for a Soul Food Sundays if that's placed on my heart. But what I do want to share is I've come a full circle. And I will say that God has really helped me to remove that human aspect of how people had made me feel in the past and helped me to see what it is that He intends. I was also taught as it is shared here, that you tithe 10% of your earnings. And recently I began doing my own reading and research, and this was a few months back. And as you know, there are many, many, many scriptures that give guidance on money and tithing. So I just want to briefly share that, in the Old Testament, in that version, we observe Abraham and Jacob offering a tithe to God in Genesis 14 and 28. And even more, the Israelites were commanded to tithe from what they earned and produced during the year, as stated in today's passage that is also in the Old Testament. And more in Leviticus 27:30, Deuteronomy 14:22 through 24, and Chronicles 31:5-6. And that's for those of you who kind of want to do some of that studying for yourself. And in the New Testament, Jesus fulfilled the requirements of the Mosaic Law, Matthew 5:17. That is, the obligation to tithe was also abolished. When Jesus talked about tithing and offering sacrifices, which is in Matthew 5:23 through 24, Matthew 23:23, and Luke 11:42. He did so before he started the new covenant, which means it's not binding today. The New Testament does not command us to tithe. When giving is referenced in the New Testament, we are commanded to give generously. And that is not a strict 10%. Yet, if you can tithe 10%, I encourage you to do it. If you can't give 10% of your money, maybe you can do 5%, and the rest you can gift in form of service or volunteering. So I just encourage you today to pray about it and see where God is guiding you. I will share in another message about other ways that we can give. And place your hands over your heart and claim this power I am for today. I seek God for my answers. That's short and sweet. I love it. I seek God for my answers. I thank you for joining today. May you be blessed. I love you, and we'll see you again tomorrow.